When it comes to creating print media, I have a really big soft spot for risograph. The colors that you can get are like bright, fluorescent, the texture is beautiful, and each print is an individual. No risograph print is exactly identical to the one before it. It's a little bit of a surprise every single time, and that's kind of the fun of it. Hi, my name is Beige Blum. I'm a biracial, queer illustrator and cartoonist based in Hamilton, Ontario. So my studio is actually just my bedroom. I do have this area kind of cornered off as like my workspace. So everything that I need to get done art-wise or creatively happens at this desk. So the creative projects that I usually work on consist of illustrations, zines, and comics. One of them being the continuation of Witch Hazel. So as you might know, Witch Hazel is a 28-page zine comic currently, but we're reworking it to be a full-length graphic novel around 250 pages. So what that means for me is I'm in the beginning process of designing characters that will be featured in the rest of the story. An exciting development for Witch Hazel in particular is that at the time of filming this, we've actually been nominated by the Sequential Magazine Awards for Best Comic of 2022. So when it comes to making comics and zines, comics can range from simply being a page and a couple panels to 28 pages long like Witch Hazel. The cool thing about zines is they can kind of take any shape that you want. You can have the traditional booklet style zine. You can have a zine that opens up like an accordion. You can have a zine like my Spooky Girls Volume 1 that's a single page that is cut and folded in a way that it looks like a booklet, but when you open it up, it's actually just one piece of paper. I have two major tools, one being my iPad and the other being my laptop. So my iPad is my main tool for working. I use an app called co-curated to get majority of my work done, whether it's sketching or working from sketch to final and formatting my layers for printing. That mostly happens on my iPad. My laptop is generally used as the final step right before printing. Formatting colors for Riso can be a little bit of a difficult task. When you work in Riso, you come up with a black and white file that you send to the machine, and the machine then gives out that much color per layer. So for instance, if we look at this 4-color risograph piece that I've printed, all the pink would be printed at one time. This dark pink would be 100% black on the file, and this lighter pink here would be an 80% gray on the file. And the machine then reads that and prints out the layer. However, when it comes to mixing colors, that's when it can get a lot more difficult. In order to create this purple here, you have to find the right percentage of blue and fluorescent pink that would overlap to make that purple. There is kind of a science to it, but there is also a guessing portion. You might have to print multiple editions of something in order to get it to look like how you'd want in the digital mockup. I'd say I draw from a lot of inspiration in terms of things that inspire the work I create, the content of the work, the theme of the work, but also just the inspiration to create in general. Really small things like walking my dog or a conversation I've had with a friend, but also topics that are close to my heart and important to me. Issues of racism, homophobia, queerphobia are really important to me as a queer person, as a biracial person, as an Asian person, as a woman. For example, my thesis, Not Your Waifu, touches on how the effects of Asian fetish are dangerous to the Asian community, specifically Asian women was what I touched on, and how we as a community will fight back against these dangerous ideologies. I'd also say that creating new things can bring inspiration. For the longest time, I've wanted to work on a skateboard, and a few months ago I got to do that. So just the creation of making things in a new media is really inspiring. And I'd say finally, another thing that inspires me is just a sense of community. I love creating or being in a creative space with other people, whether it's tabling and sharing my work, or displaying my work at a gallery show, and just getting to meet other creatives. I see other people working and it makes me motivated to work, so that's also a really big inspiration to me, is just sharing in a creative space with other people.